welcome back. So in another game that I played, when my opponent in this position after knight to f3, and I go bishop to c4. Again, as I mentioned to you before, whenever your opponent commits the c4 push, it is always a good idea to bring the bishop to b4 check. Now in this particular game, my opponent chooses to block the check with bishop to d2. So when you face those, that makes your job a tad bit easier because you're removing the dark square bishop. It's exactly what I do. Bishop captures bishop, and he captures back with the queen. Now, I've alluded to saying early queen moves will help you to determine that they may be trying to castle on the queen side. That is not always the case, but it's a good indicator. So you should look forward to those things and plan accordingly. I go knight to f6, attacking the pawn on e4. And he goes knight to c3, defending. Now again, in this particular move order, it seems that he's going to be castling on the queen side. Now, taking in mind, yes, I am analyzing the game, but that still should not deter what our game plan. So once we see that, we may say, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to stick to our tried and true plan. We go to d6. Now, mind you, they don't get the check. They don't get that bishop over here. We're thwarting that bishop's scope with the e6. So it's safe, and we want to prevent any sort of c4 push to disrupt our center. Okay? So now bishop to d3. Now he has knight. He can either castle short or he can castle long. So with that being said, we stick with our tried and true plan. We're not going to switch it up. We're going to go ahead and do what we do. Knight to f4. Again, I say over and over and over again, that knight to f4 move is deadly. It causes a lot of problems. Now, he can either castle short or long, like I mentioned before, but typically they don't want to lose that light square bishop. But let's see how the game progresses. You see what I'm saying? Now, he's willing. Now, with him preserving his bishop here, he knows that this is under duress. It can lead to a check. But what I believe that he's going to be planning is to have this particular open file here, move his rook to get his rook here, and then have this open file down here. That I saw that while I was playing the game. But then nonetheless, I stick with my plan. I go ahead and check him anyway because I'm going to be able to bring my knight back, but he's going to be doing an artificial castle. And what the artificial castle is not the traditional castle. What he's going to do is he's going to get his king on the second rank and then swing a rook over and then he's going to bring his king to the second rank here. And then eventually probably slide his king over, his rook over to here. And then he'll be able to get his king to march on these squares here and make it that way. Okay, let's see. King to d1. And I just bring my knight back to that lovely square, which is f4, which causes tremendous havoc. He goes, and again, rook to g1, attacking the pawn on my g7. So now I pin his knight. Now this is a good time for the pin. He has to do something about that. He can only protect it most likely with the queen, or that's it. So he goes queen to e3. I castle on the king side, and he goes king to d2. Again, he's attempting the artificial castle. Now, in this particular position, I say now would be a good time to undermine his center. It would be a good time to undermine his center. Let's see what I do. Again, c6. We're going to undermine his center. Rook to g3. Bringing more attacking principles. He's going to eventually want to bring his other rook here. I think his plan is very clear. He wants to bring this other rook here and eventually push up this pawn here, remove my bishop and get a good attack and open up the F file, the G file. But we're not going to allow him. I captured the knight. He captures back with the queen. And now just a prophylactic move to slow down his tempo, slow down his pace. Now, he can continue to bring his rook over, but don't forget, I still have my knight on f4, which can always come back to help to defend, or I can bring my other knight to h5. Let's see how it goes. He chooses to protect the pawn, and he goes to b3. Queen to d4 check. Now, that's a very good check. It could cause some sort of havoc, and I'm in his business. How does he choose to defend? Bishop to d3. Putting a blockade to his king. But as you can see in the evaluation bar, I'm way ahead. I'm ahead in development. I have many of my pieces. I have my queen. Let's talk about spacing. Now, spacing is how many pieces or squares do my pieces occupy on his board, not the square that the piece is on. So let's just look. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Take that back. Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all on his side of the board, meaning squares from the 4th rank and beyond. Now let's look for the knight. The knight covers 1, 2, 3, double attack here. So now we have, that's about 7. Now let's look at what his pieces cover on my side of the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I didn't even include the knights, but let's include the pawns too. 6, 7, 8. Now, it seems like he has more space on my side of the board. However, his pieces, he has all these pieces on the 3rd rank. They're doing more defending. I have more of attacking principles going on. So let's see how the game progresses. Knight f to h5, attacking the rook. Now in this position, he let's see here. He goes knight to g5. Now here, I'm looking forward. I'm looking at a couple of different options that I have. I can actually capture his bishop and then get an extra pawn. Let's see what I do. I want to kick him, and besides that, I want to kick the rook. I want to kick his rook and give my king a flight square. Because mind you, I have this nice little pawn chain here, and it's disrupting his center. And see how the game goes? He captures, which was a pretty good move there because he's getting 2 for 1. I have to capture back. He captures, and then I get the check. Now, mind you, he's going to assume he's going to eventually be coming here. And as you look at the evaluation bar, it's showing that my advantage dropped significantly. It went from, let's go back, let's see where it is. It's not moving now, but it went to where now he has more of an advantage. The check is there, so he counterattacks the check with the knight. So now, what do we do here? Now in this particular position, I have a few options. Let's look at them. C captures d5. E captures d5. Now, remember what I mentioned about pawn chains. You see these pawns here? And it's showing you why he's attacking. The direction of your pawn chain is the direction that you should be relying your attack on. He has a bishop here with tremendous scope. He's going to be bringing a rook around here. Eventually, he could probably move his knight out of the way and then put more pressure on my queen. I go f5. That f5 move is deadly because now I'm threatening to push up the pawn. Now I'm threatening here to kick his bishop out of the way. Let's see how it goes. He goes rook to g1. Now he's threatening, as you can see here, he's threatening to capture the pawn and be up. So I thwart that with what? Rook to f6. So I'm stopping him from doing that momentarily. He goes king to c1. Now, again, there's the artificial tackle, but now the artificial castle. But now, as you look at the evaluation bar, how it dropped all the way back. It dropped all the way back, and that's going to prove very significant later on in the game because of the fact that he put his king on the back square, back on the back rank, on the first, back to the first rank. He did an artificial castle, but his pieces aren't very active. His pieces aren't very active. He has some pressure with the queen on h5 and the rook on g1, which could be horrible. But now, mind you, I have my rook on f6, and I will be swinging this rook over to provide more defense. Let's go. Queen to e3 check. King to c2, and here it is here, e5. More expansion on the queen side, and now he's going to lose. Eventually, he will, not eventually, but he's going to end up losing this bishop. Let's see what he does. Rook to g3, trying to cause some minor pressure. But there it is there. There it is there. Let's look again. Let's look again. E4, attacking the bishop. He didn't think this all the way through. He thought he could preserve the bishop. He knew the bishop was going to be trapped regardless. And that was the whole point. The check. Let's look at it again. Rook to g1. Rook to f6. Now, the valuation dropped way down to where it's just about even. Just about even. He has very minute advantage. But what do we do here? That was the blunder move. That was it. When I go rook to f6, he wants to get his king to safety. He rushed to it. Queen to e3 check. Now that's where the problem was. That's where the problem is. Now if he goes king to g2, king to d1, that might have bought him some time. But however, let's see what he does. He chooses to step forward. His bishop has no breathing room, and we take advantage of that with e5. Rook to g3, no matter. Pawn captures, bishop on d3, and my opponent resigned over here. Now, I bring this game up. I brought this game up to show that there's times when we can overcome the diversities and things of that nature when we're playing against certain opponents, and that we continue to go along with the script. We continue to go along with the script. Do not be afraid of certain things. We will make blunders and make inaccuracies, but that shouldn't stop our game plan. We continue to focus on our game, do some studying, study and analyze your games and study those of the grandmasters. Hell, matter of fact, you should go to my other videos on YouTube and you can understand further. Now, I do more of the Nimzowitsch Defense than anything. I also play the Caro-Kann and the Lowenthal Sicilian. Now, I'll be doing videos on those defenses as well. But for the time being, for those of you, you can feel free to like, subscribe, and comment on my video. And please, I'm always looking for more advice on how to improve my game as I choose to help you improve yours. Until next time, thank you for watching SPANK'UM Chess. Peace out.